a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
And bam, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to From the Ashes on About Face Media. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a great week. We didn't because we missed you so much. But welcome to the show. Updating Facebook pages and sharing everything and making everybody ready. And we're here. So how's everybody doing? We're looking to hear from you. How do we look? How do we sound? We already know the answer. Oh, in the green room, we got our guest, Brandon. We got Allie already waving at us. Allie's early. She's already sitting in her office. We're getting waves. We're getting thumbs up. We're getting all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a hell of a show. The studio is full. We got our super sexy producer back. I got my hetero life mate in his super fucking tall chair. Good Lord.
This is not a tall chair.
It's
This is the chair prior to you cutting the legs. You're not a very tall guy.
I'm not, I am average, my wife tells me.
She lies.
Well, and are we still talking about chairs?
I'm still mad about how fucking short my chair was.
Do you know how hard it is to find a lifeguard chair for sale in this day and age to get set up in this office?
Not hard for me.
I
found one.
Are we still talking about the same thing?
Shit was on fucking prime.
Lifeguard chairs are hard to come by in this day and age. They do not sell those things. So Michael Connors is here, man. We got a full house, all kinds of folks. If you're listening to us with WTF Nation, we really appreciate how often we get shared on WTF Nation. Really appreciate that. So yeah, Randy Almquist is here. Oh shit, the boss is listening. Randy, glad you're here. I think so. Glad you're here. But yeah. But how was your week, man?
It was good. How was your week? How was your week?
Depending on the moment, not too bad.
You rode a horse this week.
I rode a horse. I rode a horse backwards with my eyes closed. Not many people can say that.
Okay, just so it's on record. Where did I say it? That gets you. No ability to have spurs.
Yeah.
Do not get spurs.
My daughter was super pissed. I'm like, hey, honey, how was your day? She's like, good. I'm like, did you ride your horse today? She's like, yeah. Like, I also rode a horse. I rode it backwards with my eyes closed. She's like, you did not. You shut the fuck up, fat man. You sat on a horse. Someone else led it around. That's all that happened. I'm like, wow, a little defensive, aren't we?
She's like, don't downgrade what I do, you motherfucker.
She's like, do not go buying a cowboy hat. Do not go buying spurs. I'm like, that's the same thing Seth said.
I can deal with the hat.
Work has me in Canyon City, but I'm not missing this. Oh, dude, is that like dog stuff in Canyon City, man? Because that is so cool, dude. I love what you're doing for the world, so keep it up. Husband elect. What does that say? Husband elect found a lifeguard chair for sale. Ooh. I love that his title is husband elect.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Cool as shit that his title is husband elect. That's cool as fuck, dude.
I mean, he had my vote.
Yeah, he's got my. Yeah, I mean, that's if we're having elections, husband elect is the coolest fucking title that you can possibly earn. So,
fucking
as we roll heavy into Combat Carl segment,
no,
we're not.
I'm just kidding.
We're not.
I need like 30 seconds so I can.
Do you? Because I think we can pretty much fucking.
We can pretty
start
much
spouting about it.
Well, I like to be.
You want to read about it? I think Joe can throw it up there for us if we need to.
Yeah, throw it up there for us. And then it's super easy because I was just.
If I remember, so it's like, what is it, like the 549th?
Here's what's fucking crazy. Like, I love the fact that I was not in the motherfucking military.
You weren't? I thought
during
you were.
Social media, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fuck me. You know what? I would have lasted 10 minutes. I was I had a pretty large file at IG. I had
For others, or like privates were fucking calling.
Dude, I
IG
had
on
some
you.
pretty bad soldier abuse complaints, bro. Like real fucking bad. That's why when I'm like, I'm not
Turning the youngins into
when they're
men.
like, oh, they fucking didn't get this or that. I'm like, fuck them. They shouldn't have fucking had it. Make it worse. I don't give a fuck.
We were different leaders. I dropped a soldier for push-ups a single time in a 26-year career.
What the fuck? I didn't go
Once.
10 minutes.
Once. Well,
Build them
and
or break them. I don't give a fuck which one. I just want to expedite that fucking process.
it was in I remember the moment distinctly, and it was because I was training up Hawaiian soldiers to get ready to deploy and teaching them trauma medicine, and I was setting them up with their EMT applications, and this dude filled out the application 3 times, and on the first one I'm like, hey man, you fucked it all up, take it back, do it again. Second one I'm like, hey man, take this back, have your friends or your NCO help you fill this application out. Okay, Roger Sergeant. Comes back, it's all fucked up. I'm like, private, first of all, get down on the floor and do push-ups till I feel tired. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is the simplest form ever created. And you keep fucking it up. Yes, Sergeant. I'm like, take this back, go see one of my peers and help them fill it out for you. They filled it out. I'm like, you are the first soldier I have ever dropped in the United States fucking Army. What's the fucking deal, man? I don't know, Sergeant.
Dude, that would have been like 3 IV bags for me. But
First and only one.
I'll give you a good short snap one. I took over a new squad and I had a lot of newer guys.
Mhm.
And day fucking 1, first fucking training, like out of our area. Like, let's go to the Big Island. We were on the Big Island training. Day 1, one of them fucking got a little crampy. Like, oh, and I'm like, well, fuck, go to the fucking aid station, motherfucker. And he goes and they're like, he's a little dehydrated. And I was like, oh.
I mean, we had different jobs,
drink
though,
a fucking
dude.
canteen every hour on the hour.
Yeah. And here, let me put fucking punani juice in there for you,
20 hours a fucking week or 20 hours a day.
Jimmy
So-
Davis says, ha ha.
motherfuckers are pissing their bed, bro. It's great.
What?
Oh yeah, bro. I had motherfuckers real hydrated. Want to fuck around?
God
And
damn.
I scuffed the fuck out of them. Dehydrated. I'll dehydrate the fuck out of you. Kill people for a living. Act like it.
Wow. But I mean, I still
mean.
have soldiers who I met as PFCs who I ran into later in career as sergeant first classes who would say, hey, you were the meanest sergeant I ever worked
There's
with.
like 2 people I hope I never fucking see. Because if I, dude,
You hold damn grudges, dude.
no, bro, them motherfuckers should shoot me. There's a couple out there that might fucking.
But in the same
Bro.
breath, you have soldiers that have tattoos of you. I don't have a soldier that has a tattoo of me on their person. So
I'm tattooed on somebody.
Michael Cotter says FA
And I
FO.
Dude, I have a godson named Seth too.
Wow.
Fuck, bro. You guys,
So, yeah, I
you
guess
should
it's a
have
different
fucking
thing.
been a little crazier.
Wow, dude.
nuts.
I mean, I do have soldiers I gave nightmares to, but I mean, yeah, it's a different
All
thing.
right.
But you don't have to drop anyway. That's your different thing. Keep talking. I got
got
scuffed up
scuffed
for
for-
having a smart mouth. I mean, Jimmy Davis. Yeah, I got scuffed up a
I
lot.
got scuffed up real bad, bro. I
Jimmy,
literally
you
I got
watched me get scuffed up.
I got scuffed in the aid station and took like 3 IV bags, and I was like low crawling out the
Wow.
fucking aid station to continue the shit. Like it was like I don't give a fuck. Anyway, check this out.
Here we go. I love
It
this.
started with Army WTF moments, but
Our
there's-
favorite.
it's a few other places.
If one shot rucks with us, he'll be able to get away.
549th Hospital Center Command Sergeant Major failed her ACFT approximately 2 months ago, then swept it under the rug. Command Sergeant Major Poole actually told the graders, I'll take it next week, but never did. She insisted she went and got on profile and was never flagged. She also informed all the units on the 549th to look within the information within the formations, and any soldier that failed the bike can immediately be unflagged. Bro, here's the deal. I am very happy there was not social media around because during my day because of another issue that would happen. Like I'm sure there had been pictures and videos and rants and fucking of evil fucked up shit. I would have been in fucking Guantanamo Bay. This bitch is going to be shamed forever. Did you see the picture I sent you of her?
No, I didn't get to that part. I just saw the article that you sent
You
me.
didn't see that?
I saw the article you sent me, but
this
I
is
didn't
a
see.
fucking. This is a soldier, bro.
Uh-oh. And we got people asking for pictures of her.
Oh no, I sent one to the producer, by the way.
Oh gosh.
Don't worry. We're going to include it because if we're going to shame somebody. I mean, that is a fucking soldier, bro. Not just a soldier, command sergeant major, bro. I was fucking scared of my command sergeant major. One of my command sergeant majors every once in a while drops into the show, and I would still be fucking scared of that son bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Aren't
And
you
he
supposed
liked
to
me.
be?
Those dudes did PT. They were out there before us stretching like, you guys hungry right now? And I'm like, fuck, dude, quit looking at me. I swear to God, I'm going to run really fast away from you.
Jimmy Davis, you remember Bobby Moore? This dude was like 4'3", meanest motherfucker I ever met. And I ran into him again when I was training soldiers at like Fort Riley, Kansas or some shit.
Yeah.
And I like, no joke, bumped into her at the PX. And I was like,
dude, I never had a soft sergeant major, bro.
Well, that's how you get to be a sergeant major. That's the way it's supposed to be.
You're supposed to be a fucking gritty motherfucker.
Joe,
you saw the picture, right? That's not a gritty motherfucker. I mean,
he's nodding.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it transitioned bad, but whatever.
One shot doesn't even step on his own grass when he mows it, thanks to his sergeant major.
Fuck, no, I don't. Fuck, command sergeant major Arthur Coleman.
Oh my God! Yes, he told the medics he hated us.
Dude, I literally wait till if one of the guys on. I wish a couple of guys don't usually listen, but I love that guy. I have not met one of my fucking buddies from in the back or back in the day from that unit that fucking doesn't passionately hate him. And I just think he's the greatest dude ever. But I fucking was scared of that dude.
Do you have a memory of a favorite PT test? Like you've mentioned once or twice, like sniper school and shit like that, and where you're like
favorite PT test,
like having a good time.
I remember.
Joe, you favorite PT? No, he's shaking his head.
Dude, when I went to fucking sniper section selection, and you had to have a fucking 300 to get in it, and I kind of like botched one real quick that morning to be like, fuck it, I can make it. I'll do one to get so that I made him do a record so I could fucking go. And did a 300. I got in there like, dude, you score a 299 one time, you're out. And I was like, I was looking at all the rest of the line, and I looked at their section of this like fucking 5 dudes, and I was like, I really want to be with these 5 dudes. I just fucking went and killed myself to get 300 every time.
How long is sniper school? A month, right?
Yeah, like 5 weeks.
How many PT tests do you take in 5 weeks?
No.
Oh,
for school.
Fuck,
I didn't do any fucking goddamn PT in sniper school. We didn't do PT. I mean, we got PT, duh, but we didn't do PT there. We just got killed.
I didn't get to.
Dude, I've never been smoked so bad in my life as sniper school. Like legit traumatizing smoking. Traumatizing. The NCOIC was also investigated, and he left after he had one rotation after me. I went there the night that was in question. The next day he was removed. But either way, I mean, it was traumatizing, bro. Fucked up. You play a couple songs on, bro, and I get like goosebumps. He used to fucking follow us in trucks, bro, and just play like certain songs on repeat. And then we'd go to the fucking bay.
I'm guessing not the Rocky theme song.
Dude, George Jones, Choices. Bro, you know how fucking, dude, the old George Jones version of Choices, fucking traumatizing, bro. I still love the song, but like when I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's what he would do when we were inside the bay. And we were walking, he would play Metallica Enter Sandman, and he just found a way to make sand go, like always just be fucked up, fucking destroying our life. And just play Enter Sandman. That fucking piece of shit.
I'm pretty sure Metallica was what they played for the detainees on a continuous loop for 24 hours, which is probably why I detest fucking Metallica now.
I don't detest them. I don't love them. Like, most of the rest of the world does.
Yeah.
They're fine if they're on. I would never intentionally, like if they had a new album, I'll make sure I listen to something that came out, but I'm not going to go buy it.
Same with Britney.
I just aged myself.
Well, yeah. They played Britney at 24-hour rotations too for the detainees. Yeah. Well, I love her Instagram, which I love that you send me her shit constantly.
Bro, that bitch is nuts, bro. Here's what's funny. I've sent it to a couple buddies, like, hey, look at this one. This fucking lady's crazy. And they're like, bro, I can't follow. My wife would kill me. I'm like, dude, my wife
No, you gotta follow Britney.
No, it's not some like, oh, it's so hot because she's scantily clothed. No, it's like it really reigns in the level of sanity that we have.
Yeah.
Which is not, I'm not saying we're way up there on the sanity scale.
Folks, if you're not following Britney on Instagram, you're missing out. We got it wrong. Like if you told me I was going to watch the Britney fucking special and like cheering her on, like, yeah, free Britney and shit, making cardboard signs, we got it wrong. We fucked up. It was our fault. Give her back to her dad. We fucked it up.
Maybe not give her back to her dad. Maybe we should maybe both of them should go somewhere.
Yeah. We fucked it up, folks. It's our fault. Yeah. It's
bad shit.
Yeah. If you haven't watched the Britney special, and then
either way, the Britney special. Hey, you don't need to watch the special. Just click on her Instagram for about 10 seconds.
We are late. We are late, and we owe late. Brandon is a busy man.
Hold on, real quick. Did you ever botch a fuck? Were you ever at a rank where you didn't do a PT test?
No.
Were you ever at a fucking rank you didn't do a PT test? Does that rank exist for you?
Even in that rank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was there when war was fun. So
honestly, we did not do one in Afghanistan. I didn't do one in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I didn't do one in Iraq.
We damn sure did one the fucking moment we got back, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, we can continue.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Put Homeboy's book up here. So
it's not that fucking hard to pass PT test. Let's bring a fucking Ranger on.
Brandon, good to see you, man. How are you?
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Better, but had worse. How about you, man? I'm glad you're here.
I'm doing great. I also did not have a PT test in Afghanistan, but remember nailing one when I got back from Afghanistan. I mean, you get back and you're just like game on, right?
Yeah. Look, you had your vacation in the mountains. Now it's time to fucking get back to work.
Exactly.
How do you feel about this command sergeant major just skipping out on her old PT test because she can't even fucking pass?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us in the profession of arms would look at that and say that it's clear that that's a dereliction of duty. I mean, our responsibility is to remain readiness at all time. You can't be lethal if you're not ready. And if you're not physically fit, then you can't be ready.
There's a gentleman named Pete Hegseth that would like to have a word with you, and he agrees with
I was serious. I was thinking that.
Said.
I was like, he's going to notice that. He's going to see that. He might have something to say.
Yeah. If Pete or Doge gets a hold of her in the next fucking 2 months, she's going to be unemployed. But yeah,
give me the 5 things.
5 things you did last week. Flunked PT test. Pete, excuse me.
Not a good look.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that was not a good one on my part. Sorry. Brandon, welcome to the show. Welcome to From the Ashes on About Face Media. We are very glad you're here. For those that don't know, about a month or two ago, Brandon and I were at ambassadors at the Marcus Institute for Brain Health first annual gala, which was an amazing event. They have an X-Wing fully functioning.
So
No,
cool.
they wouldn't let me fly it out of there.
Like a ring, like where you stick all your X's in, you never have to deal with them again?
No, motherfucker, like an X-Wing, Star Wars X-Wing, Luke Skywalker flying down the canyon, kills the fucking Death Star X-Wing.
I was just picturing a wing that we just shoved all them into.
Yeah, my wife's like, no, you can fly it.
Okay.
But anyway, so we were there. Brandon gets up and gives this presentation, and it fucking killed, man. Absolutely.
You told me. I heard.
Killed. Absolutely killed. And so in our little... we're getting out of their bags at the end of the thing. In there is this book that Brandon and his co-worker wrote. Brandon Young and Blaine Smith wrote. What? He's giving hand and arm signals. Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying.
Oh, he's trying to have me do it because I know where the camera's at.
Right here.
There we go.
Sorry about that. Perseverance over endurance. And it is an amazing book. So, Brandon, as much as I'd love for you to tell that story again, I only have you for 20 minutes because you are a family man, and I'm sure they're waiting for you with mashed potatoes and steak upstairs. So I don't have you for that long, but summarize that story again and how the birth of the book and Marcus Institute for Brain Health. Give us a little bit of a summary. Start with the beginning. Start with your military story.
Yeah, sure. So I joined the Army straight out of high school, 1997. I grew up in the East Bay, California. First plane I ever took was jumping on a bird in Oakland to get down to Atlanta, to then go to Fort Benning, where I did infantry school or infantry basic training and AIT, all that good stuff. After airborne school and then completing the prerequisites for Ranger indoctrination program at the time, now it's called Ranger Assessment Selection Program, I was assigned to the 2nd Ranger Battalion. I ended up staying in the regiment for 9 years. I did 4 rotations to Afghanistan. And really, the story that I shared was just one where it was a real moment for me and in my life where I really understood the difference between endurance and perseverance. So it's kind of set the backdrop for what ended up becoming the book many years later. I share a story about my time in Afghanistan. My business partner, Blaine Smith, he's a West Point grad. He was in 1st Cav, and then he was a Green Beret in 3rd Group. He talks a little bit about his story in Afghanistan. And, just to kind of take you back to that time, it was a really chaotic time. I won't tell the whole story for time's purposes, but really, when the towers fell, I had already been in for 4 years. I was a squad leader of a Ranger assault squad, and day in, day out, we're like licking our chops, looking for the big fight. The towers fall, and that was what kind of, we were like, just unleash us, right? We were just waiting, because every day we're waiting to play the big game, or so we thought it was. And in addition to that, for me, there was some other things going on. I actually was engaged to be married that December, and my mother-in-law to be was actually fighting cancer. And so she had her first round of chemo on September 10th, 2001. We watched the towers fall from her hospital room. She went home on hospice care the next day. A couple days later, on September 17th, she had a day of clarity. We called it Justice the Peace over, got married in the living room. She died 2 days later. And, a couple days after that, I was gone. I was in the Middle East. And it was a pre-planned deployment to Jordan. We knew we were going to Jordan before the towers fell, but once the towers fell, everything changed in an instant. And we had the whole, soft package over there. We were doing air mission validation. We were like, sweet, we're gonna get the nod. Everything was locked down. We couldn't talk to anybody or call anyone for weeks. We were pretty boo-boo lipped when we saw 3rd Ranger Battalion do Objective Rhino on October 19th, 2001 to really kick off the invasion there. And I was finally able to call home after that. And when I called home, Kelly, I get a hold of Kelly, my new bride, who has just lost her mother and her husband's just deployed. And she says, so I'm pregnant. And I'm like, sweet, of course you are. Why wouldn't you be pregnant? 9 months later, I'm listening to my son being born from a satellite phone in Bagram while they're back home in Seattle. And so it was pretty chaotic. I was around for about 3 of the first 36 months of our marriage. Funny, we talk about like the PT test and what's the most memorable PT test for you. You guys were talking about that in the beginning of the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Get this. So all of this happens, right? And it's like the rug is just consistently being pulled out from under me, it feels like. I get back from Afghanistan. I had just missed my son's birth. For me, that was pretty devastating. I grew up without a father in the picture, just like my other 5 roommates in the Black Sheep, 2nd Platoon Alpha Company, 2nd Ranger Battalion. All of us came from like broken homes and everything. And, not being there when my kid was born was pretty devastating for me. So I kid you not, I get home and I have orders for BNOC. So I get back to Fort Lewis at the time, JBLM now. And they're like, yeah, you got to go to Benning in like 10 days. I'm like, we can't push this off like this. So I get down there, and that was my most memorable PT test because I blew the doors off of it. But ended up doing a number of rotations, like I said. And, really what we talk about in this book, this idea of perseverance is greater than endurance, is we will all eventually reach the extent of our endurance. When we think about endurance, we think a lot about like holding on to get through a defined period of hardship. It's hard. You're going to have to, give a lot of yourself, but you kind of know what the course is. You're kind of prepared for this. Like a marathon in that way. When you sign up for a marathon, you know what the course is. You've got the map. It's 26.2 miles. So when you get to the end of that, on that course from point A to point B, by the time you get to point B, you're essentially a more tired version of who you were at point A. Not the same with perseverance. With perseverance, by the time you get to point B, you are not the same person who started the course at point A. You have transformed. You have had to grow to become the person the situation calls for, the leader the team needs in order to accomplish the mission. And in this way, perseverance is really well suited for seasons of adversity, which we would say are marked by, an undetermined amount of change and uncertainty. So the course is not marked. We don't know when it's going to end. We don't know sometimes where this is going to play out, how it's going. And we talk a lot about that in the book, and basically offer some thoughts on how we as leaders can identify adversity for what it is, recognize that, we've probably tried a bunch of the moves. We've made some hard choices. We've kind of gutted it out for as long as possible. We've survived, and we probably now need to, thrive. We probably now need to change a little bit and do a little bit something different. And so we talk about that through 5 factors: change, uncertainty, acceptance, choice, and growth. So, perseverance starts with change. Things come at you fast and often without notice. It goes to uncertainty that brings about that sense of uncertainty. And you're uncertain whether or not your training prepared you for this. You're uncertain how it's going to shake out. It's worth noting that uncertainty brings about a basic human emotion, and that is fear. We like to use all these proxy words like, I'm just frustrated. I'm anxious. I'm a little nervous. It's fear. The base human emotion under all those things is fear, and fear is the friction that holds us in place. We would suggest that something will eventually move us off our mark. It's either going to be pain or purpose. With pain, we run from our pain. With purpose, we run to our purpose. And that's where we bring about acceptance. This is that third factor of perseverance. This is where we accept what we can control. We accept what we cannot control. We use the S word that like basically none of us ever wants to use, which is surrender. We surrender what we cannot control. And we start to think about what's one next good choice or decision I can make at a time. And we can lay out all the decisions, but nothing happens until factor 4, which is choice. This is when we choose to become, the creeds, the ethos, all the values, all the things that we tell people that we are. You make a choice, and you make a choice day after day, moment after moment. And after all of that, growth waits on the other side of perseverance. And so the book is really about that. We talk a little bit about, I share a mission, Winter Strike 2003. This was yet another rug gets pulled out from under me moment, because I actually had already had orders to go to Benning to be a part of the Ranger Indoctrination Program, the assessment selection team, and the pre-Ranger program at Regiment. And we get alerted, and, rug pulled out from under me again. I was right back over in Afghanistan. I basically spent almost all of 2003 in Afghanistan because of it. So I share a little bit about that and what it was like leading through those difficult circumstances. Blaine shares about being out at Anaconda in Afghanistan in 2009. He had a really rough deployment with his ODA team. Mm-hmm. And then we unpack the 5 factors of perseverance, and then talk about, what's this really look like in real life, and how can we equip you with some useful frameworks to help you kind of navigate through the adversity you're facing.
And they are powerful tools. They are, it's incredible. Let me get my notebook real quick. I need to take notes. Allie, actually, you do not need to get your notebook. It's a powerful book, Brandon. Your talk was very moving that evening. And I got home and devoured the book. I managed to power through it in about 5 days. I could not put it down.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate
and with that being said, it's time. We'd like to give your book away here on the show to an eager listener. But I'd like to leave that in your capable hands. we give a lot of stuff away on this show because we get a lot of stuff given to us, stickers, hats, all kinds of bullshit. But this is something that's powerful and has the potential to do a lot of really good things for someone who's listening right now. So we'd like to give your book away to someone who's listening right now, but we're going to leave that up to you as to how we give that away. You have to earn it. It's not free. We don't give anything away for free on this show. What do you think? How can someone earn this book who's listening right now? Keeping in mind that this show gets simulcast on a couple different stations, including Heroes Media Group, WTF Nation.
Look at Randy. Randy's like, I'll buy 3 copies to give away. Does that mean I get an extra one? I'm into it.
What do you think? How do you think somebody can earn it and get?
What do you guys usually do for these giveaways? This is new.
Trivia, something about you, something about the book, something about your story, something about something about the person we're interviewing. They have to know something. I love that one of the last pictures in your book is the Young family. That I found that to be extremely powerful.
Yeah,
I thought that was, especially with the way you talk about, how it moved you, how it was challenging for you growing up in a fatherless household, and you talked about that a little bit already. I thought that was powerful, and that one of the last pictures is your happy family, and I found that to be extremely powerful. That's just my humble opinion. Your neighbor's internet is cutting out a little bit, bud. Say it again.
Can you hear me okay?
You're a little bit robotic. How would you say that, Joe? Cutting in and out a little bit. Say it again, Brandon.
Can you hear me now, guys?
You hearing him?
No, kind of.
Uh-oh.
Kind of, sort of. Thanks to get my families together. It was long, hard.
You're buffering just a little bit. Of course, it's right at just the right time that it decides to buffer.
Try turning your video off and see if that, keep your sound on. See if that helps out for a second.
Yeah, turn your camera off. See if that helps. I'll breathe down your copies. Oh, of course. How's that for impeccable timing? No, you don't have to remove them. What a bummer, man. That was a good interview, too. Damn. That was going right where I wanted it to go.
I know.
Oh, well. All right, listeners, what do you think? How would you like to earn yourself a copy of Perseverance over Endurance? I'd like to hear from you folks. What do you think? If we can get Brandon back, that'd be super cool. But if we don't, that's okay. What do you think? How would you like to earn this? I'd like to hear from you. If you've got a compelling story about why you think you've earned this book, I'll like to hear it. You got till 7 o'clock. You got another.
We can give him a couple days. We can give him a couple days.
Yeah. All right. I like your attitude.
We can say whoever it is if we want to next week and give him a couple days.
All right. I like your attitude.
Let it get broadcast a little bit.
I like your attitude,
especially if it's a good one.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your stories.
Since you're coming up with this trivia, yeah.
No, I'd like to hear Brandon his version of it. I'm sure he'll send me a text or something. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to hear from you, or if Brandon hits us back, let her rip, Allie. Yeah, I'd like to hear it from you folks. Why you think it is a powerful book. It really moved me in a lot of different ways. Brandon's a powerful speaker. Oh, are you back there? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm like plugged into the Ethernet and everything.
What would you steal from the other neighbor on the other side?
I don't know, man.
You're okay. If you have thoughts, we'd love to hear them. But yeah, Seth's thought was, hey, give it a couple of days and see what. Maybe we'll give it away on next week's show if somebody has a powerful story that they feel like they've earned it. What about giving it to the 65th Med Commander on the CSM?
I got nothing to do with that, fellas. I like the idea. What about this? I mean, what about maybe some folks drop you guys a note of a time when they felt like they had to persevere as opposed to just kind of holding on and getting through it, and then you guys can either randomly select it or just kind of read it out on next week's show, and we'll get somebody a book.
Yeah,
that right there is literally why they always say Rangers lead the way.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, we're good.
There it is. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, let me add something to this as well, since I know there's a lot of brothers and sisters out there who are listening, is that, the thing about it is, as veterans, we represent what, at this point, 7% of the U.S. population, I think it is.
Damn,
So we're a very small
really?
percentage of the U.S. population, and we happen to be kind of one of the most respected entities, seen as one of the most trustworthy entities in America. And when we're talking about stories here, and I know that's such a big part of what you guys do is share some of these stories. And I would just say that the invitation, I think, for us is that we can either use our stories to build walls or bridges. We can be those veterans who are 1,000-meter stare, like, you don't understand me, you this and that, and everything like that. Or we can use them to build bridges and just kind of say, hey, look, this is what I experienced. And I have found that, far more often, because I've done the whole building walls thing. I did that for the first, 6 years when I got out of the Army, and by the way, if anybody doesn't know this yet, going 6 years, after nearly a decade in the Rangers, 4 rotations, and then going 6 years with undiagnosed PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, musculoskeletal damage, sleep apnea, all the things that we accrue over there. It's a really bad strategy for living a rich life. And I tried that.
all the time here.
Yeah, I did what we all did. I went to the VA and I was just like, I don't want shit from you. And they're like, great, we don't want to give you anything. And I'm like, great. I tried that. I think I was kind of building a wall, right? I was
making
building
Allie
a wall
really uncomfortable right now.
Yeah. I was building a wall at the time, but when I finally started to change, and you commented before my neighbor's internet went out, Rob, you commented on my my family being in the end of the book, and like that was miraculous, the reconstitution of my family. It was truly miraculous. What I said when it cut out is like, all thanks to Jesus on that totally miraculous resurrection of my heart, of my family. But it took an awful lot of being willing to kind of lay down my walls and to kind of share my story. And so what you're going to find, and why our pictures of our families are in the end of that book there, is we go through all these stories, and like, look, we can all kind of do the thing. We're all barrel-chested freedom fighters. We can do the thing, and I could say, like, yeah, I learned all these hard stuff in combat, but the truth is that some of my biggest lessons in perseverance came after I got out of the military, and I had to ask for help, and I had to go back to the VA and tell them the truth, and I had to make amends with my family and put things back together. And so my encouragement, as we cue this thing up to get a book into somebody's hands, is even if Rob and One Shot are the first guys that you kind of be a little bit raw with, and just say, like, hey, here's a time when I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, or I didn't sure if I had what it took to get through it. Give those guys a chance. Like, you're in the tree of trust. This is family. We all earned it, right? We're all here for the same reason. And let them pick a name out of the hat there, and get yourself a book and see if it's useful for you. I hope it is.
The tree of trust. It's planted dangerously close to the tree of woe. So yeah.
I know. I heard the intro.
Yes. Hey, Brandon, man, I could talk to you all night about this stuff, but again, I want to get you back to that family that's waiting for you. I'm going to pass you off to my hetero life mate here. He's going to give you the outgoing instructions, and yeah, he's all yours there, sugar.
At the end of your time with us, we give you about 2 minutes there. Whatever you might have glossed over, anything you want to shout out there real quick, last thoughts. Make sure you include your handles, your socials, ways to get your book, and then the time is yours. We'll try not to interrupt too much.
Cool. I'll try to be quick. You can pick up Perseverance is Greater Than Endurance wherever books are sold. You can go directly to perseveраncebook.com, and it'll take you to all the different avenues that you can buy the book. I hope you buy the book. Please buy the book. I hope you find it useful. You can find me on Instagram at brandon.young14. You can find us at appliedleadershippartners.com. And the last thing that I'll take the time to do is just thank you guys. Thanks for thanks for hosting a forum where, we can just kind of connect and talk. And, for everybody out there, thanks for all your service. It does not go unnoticed, even though sometimes it might feel like it does. So thanks for everything you guys are doing out there. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Brandon Young, one of the authors of Perseverance Over Endurance. Brandon, I can't thank you enough for taking the time for being a part of the show tonight up on, excuse me, From the Ashes on About Face Media. Sincerely appreciate it. It was a pleasure and an honor to meet you at the Marcus Institute for Brain Health annual gala. I hope to see you next year at the second gala. Have a great rest of your evening.
All right. Thanks, brothers. Cheers.
Have a great night. It's a hell of a book, man. I got 2 copies. So, I'll let you guys peruse, but we're going to give that one away. So, folks, I'd love to give it to you. It's not your normal self-help, feely, touchy, caress your testicles kind of book. You're going to really, really love it. And I'd like to give it to you. So, you're going to really enjoy it. Aloysius, how are you?
Broadcast from the bathtub. Can I get a copy?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. I have 2 copies. One we're going to give to a listener. You are not a listener. You are one of us. One of us.
But I'm going to buy it. I'm going to read this book.
No, you don't have. You can, but you don't have to. But when Seth and Joe are done, I will, of course, we'll give it to you. But yeah,
give her what?
I'll read it, and then I'll pass it on.
I'll tell you
to
when you're older.
The leader. Hi.
Hello.
Careful, he sat in bubble gum, so watch your eyes.
So, what a week, huh?
Yeah, no shit, boss lady, huh?
Are you in a robe?
It's her Jedi robe.
I am.
Careful, she's got her lightsaber handy.
I am in a robe because as soon as I hit leave studio, I got a date.
if you know what she means, and I think you do.
Stop it.
So, Allie,
80,000
folks from the VA.
I heard 83,000.
I
heard
83.
We are so fucked. Okay,
I
made 2 videos on this, and I made a follow-up.
Yes, I know.
Because someone was like, "You're fear-mongering, blah blah blah. There's no proof," and I'm like, "You must be new here because when do I ever post something and not have the fucking receipts, right?" So one of my buddies at the VA is like, "Here's the memo." Boop. Not accuse me of fear-mongering. So this is bad because if you think your claims are slow now, if you think that waiting to see your primary care physician or specialty care clinic is taking forever now, wait until 80,000 people are fired. Do some people deserve to be? Absolutely. Are there some shitbags that just sit in the chair collecting a paycheck and don't give a fuck about you? Absolutely. But those people need to be dealt with. I'm sorry?
I can hear you. I'm sitting right here.
Oh, sorry. Was that a laugh track?
Yes, ma'am.
She's
pissed. Look at it. Joe found the buttons.
Well, it's better than Welcome to the Stage that are old
exactly. Yeah, from those old fuckers. But anyway, yes.
Yeah.
No, I hear you, Al. I hear you.
And I know you hate the VA. I know you hate the VA, but you are blessed enough to have outside care, correct? You have outside insurance.
Yes.
Okay.
That wasn't the point I was about to make, but please continue. Okay. I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, but there are so many thousands and thousands of veterans who are on disability who can't afford outside insurance. So the VA literally is their only health care. And it's unfortunate that if you go down south or to the Midwest, you are waiting 2-3 months to see primary care physician. That's because the VA is understaffed and underfunded. Believe it or not, we just don't have enough. If we cut all these people, and it's from social workers to physicians to contracts, why do we need contracts? The people who do your compensation and pension exams, those are contractors, those third-party vendors, because the VA was so bogged down with compensation claims that it just didn't have enough people, so they had to outsource. So those contracts are necessary. And I know a lot of people hate the VA, and I'm sorry. Sometimes our veterans rely on VA healthcare no matter how shitty it is, because sometimes that's all they have to get their prescription. Sometimes that's the only mental health counselor that they can see. So while I get that a lot of you are happy that, you know, the VA and is being cut and stuff, this is actually bad news for everybody.
Just answering one question real quick though, Allie. As far as the care side is concerned, not obviously not waiting for your fucking claim, but from the care side is concerned, isn't that what we have community care for? So like if they can't do it within so long, I do it all the time because they can almost never, if it's anything specialty, they can't get me in within the allotted time for community care. So then I just get outsourced and I actually do get good fucking care then.
Yes. So, because you're in a really good area. A lot of these rural places, the outside care, the community care, you're waiting just as long, especially for mental health or something like plastics or, you know, like something specialty that a VA clinic doesn't have. You're waiting just as long, if not longer, to be seen.
So
I have look, Rebecca right here. I have no outside care. I live remote, 650 miles to a regional facility. It's hard now. Yeah. Like this is exactly the type of veteran.
Wouldn't she automatically though get community care? That's outside of the driving scope. She's automatically community care.
Yes, but she still has to wait on a local primary care. She still has to wait for an opening in her community.
Okay. But how would them firing 83,000 people have any change of that either way?
Because she
can't get help. She can't get care either way in an amount of time.
Use our primary care physician, and like my women's care is all the VA. I don't have outside care because I can't find outside care. So my lady stuff is all VA. And I told you last year I had a cancer scare and oh my God, like, what am I going to do? So there's so many veterans that rely on just VA care because that's all one they can afford because they don't have insurance and insurance is expensive, or they have a pre-existing condition and they're like, yeah.
Would it be reasonable to think though that
they need to be restructured? Absolutely. It does. Absolutely. I'm not saying
that's where I was going.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with that. Like, I'm just saying like, I don't know good, bad, or indifferent, but clearly it doesn't work fucking now. It's completely jacked up. So as far as I'm concerned, you can fire the whole fucking thing and start over. Like we're fucked right now. The whole system sucks. Yeah. And to be quite honest, I know very few fucking people working for the VA that don't suck.
Right.
Walk into a VA with me and I'm just gonna be like, all right, like you're a coloring person. Perfect example. I just see a coloring book person almost everywhere I go.
She doesn't know what that means, bro.
Somebody's sitting behind their fucking desk with a coloring book, doing nothing, fucking around on my phone. That
boggles my mind. Like, I wish you guys could see the VA care that we have here in New England. Like, we've been rated Vision 1 has been like the top VA Vision for like 15 years in a row. Like, it's incredible. We partner with Mass General Hospital. We partner with Brown University, with Harvard University.
I wonder why people
can't understand why the rest of the country treats veterans like that.
Right. But in turn, you also got to realize if you are the absolute number one, you're the shining light. You're the one that they use for their fucking commercials. Nobody else gets that shit. I mean, we have a big, beautiful, brand new building. They put all these fucking billions of dollars in doing all this shit. And it's still a bunch of fucking assholes for the vast majority.
We have a leadership issue here.
We have it's craziness. What happens in there. And it's not, here's the other thing is you might say it's a leadership issue. I agree. But when I got out of the fucking military 17 years ago and we were at the old building, it was fucked up there too. I haven't had 1 year. So leadership's changed over, hasn't it? In 17, 18 years, there's been some changeover. It's a fucking culture inside of the system.
Absolutely. The culture needs to change. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm not saying that there doesn't need to be changes. Absolutely there does. Just, the same with
this can make me crazy.
No,
I started TikTok like 2-3 years ago. I got tagged so many times about the female social worker, somebody in Georgia. They refused to let this veteran in because the veteran had a child, and it became this whole thing. And the social worker put her hands on. It was this whole big fucking thing, and I'm like, and I just cannot understand how, if you work for the VA, you have to have a love of people to be in any type of social work. Like, you can't decide to work at the VA and hate fucking people at the same time. Like,
but what if just what if I'm going to play like I just love human beings and they're wonderful. What if all these wonderful, beautiful, just loving children of God come into the VA with the best intentions and then just fucking get the spawn of fucking Satan put inside of them because they're inside of that place?
To be clear, we can be raging assholes sometimes.
I know that, but I ain't fucking not taking care of people along the way. I might call them a fucking cunt, but I'm still going to fucking patch their wounds and be nice to them.
I don't think you can
like, veterans are not the easiest people to deal with, right?
No, we're terrible.
Fighter. And I think I've lucked out. Like, I've only had to use my big girl voice in the 6 years I've been a VSO, maybe 5 times. And I got hands-on one time with a veteran, and it was for his own good. But
would he agree with that statement?
Oh yeah. He was hallucinating and he was all types of shit. And I literally grabbed him by his collar and fucking shook him up and stuck him on the gurney. And now he's doing phenomenal. He's has his meds. He's in healthcare or mental health. So it was for his own good. But I lost the point of the story. But
no, you didn't.
Some people, like, we get jaded, right? Like, that's why I go on vacation like every 3 months, because it's a lot of work, and I hold on to these stories, and you hear not just the stories of the veterans, but the way that they're treated. And here I am advocating for, like, the VA, like, get your compensation. Like, you don't fucking have to like them, but they owe you money, they owe you healthcare, get after it. And then I get a phone call saying, a horrible experience at the VA. And I'm like, fuck, like, I'm sorry.
Dude, it's like an upsetting event to have to like think like, fuck, I gotta go to the fucking VA tomorrow. Like, I've never had a time where like
be like that.
But it is.
Like that, right? I know.
And they never, here's the problem. They never let me down. And so when they're like, drop 83,000 people, I'm gonna give a fuck.
Yeah,
I really don't. And here's what I do know. I honestly always want their clinics backed up. For me, I understand your situation is a little bit different, but for me, I want their fucking clinics fucking slammed. The more slammed their clinics are, the more I'm just going to use community care, and I don't have to go there. And guess what? I get treated amazingly well. They're nice to me. There's no fucking headaches. The only headache that happens is if I have to see them more than once and they have to contact the VA to get one more session approved or whatever it is. There's the fucking problem is when the VA gets back involved, we have to wait for them. But I get amazing care. As soon as I'm out of the VA, I feel like I'm like a king somewhere. I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. They love me.
What is that comment from
They're
Rebecca?
Like, no, they do this to everybody.
I had great care in Seattle, moved to Washington just for care. Now back in NorCal, I have to go to San Francisco 6 hours one way.
Oof.
Yeah.
Again, I just don't understand. Not just
like
repping fucking community care and loving life.
I'd like you're in Vision 1 and you're, the number one in the nation. I'd love for them to start at whatever. I don't know how many Visions there are, but I'd love for them to start in the worst one. How many are there? Yeah. I see you rolling it around in your head.
So that's like Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico sucks. Arizona, the Arizona Vision sucks. Florida.
Well, they made headlines when they were starting with their secret lists at the start of the wars. And, wasn't it them that had the...
Get it. Like, when does, like, the people, the employees that work there, when do you stand up and be like, fucking enough? When do you start ratting out your leaders? When do you start fucking complaining?
Hold on. Oh, I found Doge VA on Twitter, and I have been... I've got paid, and every time I show it to my supervisor, hey, this is what I'm sending him. This is what I'm sending to Doge VA. She's like, that might come back to bite you. And I'm like, if I get fired, I go be a fly fishing guide for the rest of my life. I'm cool.
Look, well, I think some of these people have this confused because, like, even just up a little bit, Rebecca, I think, was saying, she's like, if it's privatized, that's what community care is for. Community care is your VA can't cover you, so they pay for you to go somewhere else.
Correct.
You don't pay a shit except for you get real care at a real civilian place. Right. There's no bill to you whatsoever, not one fucking penny. And rather than being in that shithole of fucking
I see you, Michael.
Shit, I get it paid for. I get to go somewhere nice. And they have things where it's like, hey, if they can't get you in for 30 days in such and such clinic, they have to get you an appointment somewhere else. So that's why I said, if they're booked, I don't give a shit, because I'm just going to make them book me somewhere else.
You're okay with waiting longer than like the 24 days to go to community care? Because sometimes, especially
dude, community care is always faster. When the VA's like, we're booked out.
Not here.
Oh no! So they'll tell us.
Community care is just as long. Yeah.
So they'll tell us, they're like, all right, we're 90 days out, so you're eligible for community care, so you don't have to wait 90 days. These are the 7 places, in the state that you can go, or these are the 7 closest or whatever. And you call, and then I always get in better. Civilian fucking care.
Awesome.
I know that there's probably clinics or certain things, especially I've heard some, woman doc things are highly there's not enough of them out there or whatever, but I get that. But I'm fucking jumping up and down. Usually whatever it is, I'm in a week or 2.
Yeah.
And then they're taking care of it. They're not pushing me off somewhere else. It's amazing. Right. I love community care.
And that goes back to.
That's the best pause on the camera ever.
Why are you work for the VA? You know the type of clientele you're going to see. Why are you treating them this way? Where is your fucking compassion? Especially if the veteran, if you're a civilian, you kind of get a pass, you don't fucking get it. But if you are a veteran and you work for the VA and you treat your siblings,
most of them are.
Right. What the fuck, dude? I have zero sympathy for you, and I hope you do fucking get fired. Understand why people take jobs at the VA. If you are a veteran, you take a job at the VA. It's to help people. And you don't even have to be forward facing. You can literally be the guy processing the BTSSSS website and doing fucking travel pay. That travel pay is going to go to a veteran. So why wouldn't you process it correctly?
Right.
Well,
hey,
listen,
you stand there, smile. Hey, welcome to the VA. How are you?
I love you both,
but we need to shut up.
But we
have a fucking schedule, Allie,
all night. But there is a whole nother radio show after us in 2 minutes. Allie, I love you to little pieces. I could talk to you all night, but there's another radio show after us.
I know it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting me on. I have a date.
All right, go to your date. Love you both.
Love you guys. Bye.
Mostly you.
Peace.
All right. You good? You okay?
Fucking man, I'll get up.
Oh. All right, folks. You know how we end every show. We end every show with a segment called Never Forgotten, because it's very important that these names never, ever get forgotten. Man, we do get passionate around here about some things. Good Lord. I love it. That's why we fucking do this right here. All right, folks, check it out before we run out of time. Never forgotten. Army Sergeant First Class John David Randolph Hilty, 44, of Bowie, Maryland, died March 30th, 2020 in a non-combat incident in Erbil, Iraq. Was assigned to 1st Battalion, 227th Aviation Regiment, 1st Air Cavalry Regiment, 1st Cavalry Division of Fort Hood, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, when you say your prayers tonight, please remember Army Sergeant First Class John David Randolph Hilty. Remember his family. And when you say your prayers tonight, please remember his family. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to From the Ashes on About Face Media. We can't thank you enough for being a part of the show. Please support our sponsors. Go to Thigh Huggers, go to Combat Flip Flops, and thank you so much for being a part of From the Ashes on About Face Media. We sincerely appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for being a part of the show. Have a great night. We're making room for PTSD and pageants. Have a great rest of your night. See you next week, folks. I don't know why that's popping up all of a sudden. What's that?